As the legendary journey of Caffeinated Dad, the Guardian, continues, we are progressing on leveling our boy up to level 50 on Fearless difficulty, which of course makes all the content so much harder. For the most part, this is manageable, but then we are faced with our toughest challenge yet. A Wraith who randomly appears when you're weak and can nearly two-shot you. It is the most difficult mob that I have ever faced in this game yet. Here's what happened. So we pick up our journey of our stout boy in Nogland, which is actually just Eggnogland to me, and I can't see it any other way. I also receive a shipment of items and gear from Galadir, another player, which while I greatly appreciate, I am trying to make an effort to not use any type of handouts. If we're going to be victorious, then we are going to need to suffer. Before I head off to the next hub in Gundamon, I need to clean up the goblins in this area, which I really don't even think I need a reason to do. Like, legit, say less, queen. Apparently, it's for a good reason. So be it, whatever. Let's go murdering. I head back up to where I fought the Dowerhand Burglar, and now I need to kill the Blue Crag Chieftain. Problem is, I am running into a health regen issue. Each mob is eating up about 20 to 30% of my HP, but it takes quite a while for my health to regen all the way back up to full. So I pull precariously and make sure I don't overdo it, but I am starting to get fairly low here on a lot of these pulls, I'm not gonna lie. After about 20 minutes of working my way all the way up to the top, I am finally faced with said Blue Crag Chieftain. And of course, he's all the way in the back, past like 50 different mobs. Of course he is, because why wouldn't he be any closer? Well, he does hit hard, but between the bleeds and the damaging abilities, he was really no match. Now comes the tricky part, getting back down the damn mountain. I didn't want to run back through all the crap that I just ran through because I knew that I would be attacked and dismounted. And I actually just figured out the smartest way out. Yeeting myself off a cliff on my horse and landing down at the bottom. Listen, I love that there is like little fall damage in this game, but listen to the literally my bones cracking, my horse's bones cracking as we hit. Now it's time to head off to Gundamon, the next big city quest hub. And it actually looks like a damn city. Wow, pretty neat. Well, of course I have no self-control and I literally gather every single quest that I can find here because, again, I'm a quest goblin when it comes to this. But the main quest has told us that we have a huge problem. An elf prince has been captured by dwarves and the elves believe it to be the Longbeards, or the good dwarves. When in reality, it was the Dowerhand dwarves, which are the evil dwarves, who have stolen this elfy prince boy. The elves want the Longbeards to save the prince as a sign of good faith, but if the Longbeards fail, it'll look like we are in league with the Dowerhands because apparently, well, elves can't tell the difference between the clans of dwarves. Truth be told, neither can I. I also heard this funny thing about female dwarves.
True, you don't see many dwarf women. And in fact, they are so alike in voice and appearance that they're often mistaken for dwarf men. It's the beards.
Well, if the Longbeards fail, it will certainly call for a war on the good dwarves from the elves, so we have to talk to Langlass to assist us in the rescue. Well, this sounds like I'm going to need a huge power upgrade, so my first steps are going to be to clear out the rest of these quests in this area and level up so I can get a new ability called Brutal Assault. The whole of the Guardian's toolkit kind of lend into the bleeding on enemies, which is honestly pretty cool. Not only do I have some harder hitting attacks, but I have like 2 to 3 attacks that just simply bleed. Lots of damage over time, consistent DPS. Nice. Well, I go full Rage Monkey on these Blue Crag Goblins because, well, it's actually trying to make the area safer, but again, we don't need a reason to kill goblins, guys. We don't have to have anything. It's just, they're goblins, they're bad, aren't they? Well, while I'm doing this, I reach the virtue cap for my Valor traits, which gives me some offensive bonuses, which is pretty awesome. And I'm looking to be more offensively minded anyway, so give me that sweet, sweet DPS. However, the virtues are a pretty cool system. It adds for another layer of customization as you are creating and leveling your character. Well, after removing all the goblins from existence, I head north to hunt down some bears. Apparently, I need some bear meat to feed the village, which if anyone actually knows anything about bears and bear meat, you should know why this is a huge problem. Seriously, don't eat bear meat. Well, it's not even like the best quote-unquote bear meat. I'm looking to harvest their haunches. Literally, we are taking bear butts and feeding it to dwarves. Anyway, a quest is a quest, so I'm not going to complain. Well, this kind of bleeds over into hunting down some of the bad dwarves, but not before I spend a little lotro money on the store, and I purchase a hooded bearskin winter cloak. It actually looks really, really cool on my dwarf, not gonna lie. I gotta figure out a way, though, to keep on that fashion or that look without actually equipping the item, because when I equip the item, it doesn't have any extra stats. Is there like a transmog type thing here, glamour type thing here? Well, anyway, I'm here murdering all these dwarves. I do feel pretty confident on my rotation now too, getting it down pretty well. Stacking bleeds quickly and then getting up my defensive. I actually have very little downtime in my rotation as of. Well, I kill this Dour Hand Chief to collect a Sunder Shield, which is another one of my quests. And I'm knocking them all out, boy! We head north to find another mini kind of quest hub with these elves, but we get to talk to this dwarf who has a friend who doesn't believe that there are skelly boys running around some barrow den, so now I'm tasked to bringing back a trophy. It's just a skeleton, right? Like, I know this is a fantasy world, but I'm sure that we can find the skeleton bones of something somewhere. Like, why are we complicating this? Well, after some traveling, we come down to Langlass for the main quest, and he's a ranger, like Aragorn, but more forgettable. Well, he is willing to help me, mainly because he does not really have a choice in the matter. He has to maintain peace, and if they don't succeed, then elves and dwarves are going to be fighting each other. I accept the quest, but I don't join the instance right now because I need to finish up all these other quests and level up. I talked to this dwarf whose pet lynx lost her cubs in a bear den, and some birds were trying to eat them. Middle Earth is kind of weird, I'm not going to lie. I take a horse back to Gundamon to turn in all my quests, mainly because I wanted to get up to level 12, but I was just a hair short. And then one of the problems that I've had in this game is kind of like the repeating running back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong, I know we just got back here, but now they are sending me back to the elves that are in the ruins. Like, back and forth, it gets kind of annoying after a while. Well, the Cub quest has me playing Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and luckily I get a level, and now it's time for Brutal Assault, which is a hard-hitting ability. It's actually about the same of Whirling Breach and my other baseline abilities, but later it can be stacked with a powerful bleed, which is pretty cool. Again, going for that bleeding focus. Well, I save the lynx cub and everything is fine until I kill another bird that is nearby, and out pops a Shadow Wraith. Holy crap, 800 HP, nearly 4 times my maximum HP, and he literally two-shots me. Like, what the hell is this mob? And the fact that he just randomly spawned while I was killing another mob is just terrifying. Just popped out of nowhere and started smacking me around. Holy crap. Well, I res and run back north to talk to Glamour, mainly because I'm afraid of the Ring Wraiths now. And he says if you're looking to hurt the Dour Hands appropriately, you need to defeat Skithy Blackhand. Seriously, there is a ton of dwarf on dwarf violence in this area and on these quests. I'm just saying, like, can't we all just get along? Well, I precariously murder these dwarves as I'm walking through the encampment because pulling more than 1 or 2 will probably be my death. And I will say that the combat has gotten significantly more intense even in the short past few levels. I do feel like I need to level up cooking here at some point, mainly because I need some type of health regen in and out of combat after I've been absolutely slapped around by these shorties. Well, we finally get to the 1v1 against the Skithy Blackhand dwarf, and he uses all of his mana and it only heals him to like 50%. And he was like stunned for a couple of seconds, like casting this spell, but I couldn't even do anything because Sauron's eye was like watching me. So if I stood in there, I would have died. But like he does this long cast and it only gets him back up like to 50% HP. Okay, cool. Well, he nearly did finish me off too before I got the kill. So yeah, that was going to be a problem here soon. I will say, waiting for the health regen is kind of a pain and time consuming, in my opinion. I understand why it's there, but because I was in this area, I decided to head east a little bit and kill the Skelly Boy for the trophy that we need. And then I head further east to deal with some spiders, because why not? I'm in the area and I need to get these quests done. Well, these spiders really aren't that bad. Just really a couple of them is needed to be killed, and then you collect their spinnerets, and you're good to go. Well, then I find this dwarf who is lost out here that I have to save, Bercy, the cook. And of course, it's an escort quest. This is another one of those quests that I picked up by the Elvie boys, so I'm here. Let's go ahead and do it. Thank you for compiling everything all in once. Well, I'm killing these spiders that spawn, no problem. Everything is just going smoothly, a couple spiders here and there. I'm progressing the quests, all 3 of them now, so maximum effort, right? Well, that's not really the biggest problem that I run into, because I go and kill one of these spiders, and guess who pops out again?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Another effing Shadow Wraith. I don't even bother with this guy. I immediately sprint off. I leave Bercy to his fate. Nope. Why are you messing around in Spiderland? That's on you, mate. You got to deal with the Wraith. I trust that you know what you're doing, because obviously you can't take care of yourself. Sorry, gotta go, bye, leaving you alone. So this leg of the journey has actually been quite fun. One of the best things about Lord of the Rings Online is the classic quest design. Just simply running off, killing some mobs, collecting some things, and kind of just doing your own thing, you know? The main story is there, to be sure, but it only does so much. You need to involve yourself with the happenings around in this world to level up appropriately. The spawning of the wraiths, however, was absolutely terrifying. I actually have no idea how I'm even going to handle them. Like, I am literally fighting for my life when these bad boys pop out. Please stop trying to murder me. I'm just a wee little dwarf. And it seems like they only pop out when I'm already weakened. Anyway, one thing I want to spend more time on in this game is learning the crafting here, mainly the cooking. Here it seems like it's a massively integral part of the gameplay. And I do think that leveling cooking will benefit me heavily because I need some way to buff myself as well as get some regen for my HP in between mob pools. All in all, the Dwarf Legend is coming along nicely, and if you missed any of the episodes, you can click this playlist here to watch them. Otherwise, stay caffeinated, folks.